Hey everybody, Richard here with CRG Games, and this isn't something I would normally do, but even I am not above specking on cards. And I've got these two boxes here. This is Pokemon. I'm not really a Pokemon player, so just ignore that. But I want to show you kind of some good specs that I think are good specs, and some absolutely trash specs. And just to preface this, specking on cards is inherently dangerous. You do stand a high risk of losing money. Yeah, so I do not recommend specking on cards if you are not experienced in the Magic the Gathering game. So, just your fair warning. I'm not advocating for specking on cards. I'm not telling you to spec on cards. I'm telling you that it's inherently dangerous and you stand a good chance of losing money and then just having a bunch of cards for a long time. All right, so the first couple specs here I've got are one that is good and one that is probably trash. So, Mandate of Peace. I remember when I first saw this card for 2 mana at instant speed, I thought this was really strong. And I tried to convince my buddy that this is a strong card, and he's wrong, and I'm right. And you know what? It's still like a 20-cent card. But I think it's neat. Cast it only during combat, so it's got some limitations there. But your opponents can't cast spells this turn, and it ends the combat phase. I think that this actually has a good bit of utility, and it's only got one printing, and that's in the Commander 2019, one of the Commander 2019 Commander decks. And I've got a whole bunch of these. I've got several hundred of these, and my average price is like, you know, probably 60, 70 cents, somewhere in there, 50 cents. Later on, when I was buying these, they were costing more, but I'm probably going to be stuck with these for a very long time. I would not recommend, again, specking on cards, but this is one that I like, and I'm going to retire off of this card. Knock on wood. Another spec. Now, I think this is actually a good spec. Kind of. So, Corpse Knight. So this is a really interesting card. I really like this card because I think it goes in a lot of decks. And so far, it's only got one printing. That's in one printing in one set. It does have a promo pack version, and it does have a misprint version. This is actually the misprint version. So when this card first came out, it was labeled as 2/3 as a power and toughness. However, in future printings, and WotC errated this in the next card. So it's actually a 2/2. This is not a 2/3. I consider things like this almost worthless. You can't play it as a 2/3. And, you know, part of the problem that I've had with buying a bunch of Corpse Knights, and I've bought a lot of these just on the open market, and a lot of, not a lot of them, but some of them on the buy list, is a lot of people either don't take the time to pull out the 2/3s or don't know the difference, and that's understandable. So I've actually got a good bit of these 2/3s, but I've got a ton of these, and my average price on these is like 70 cents. Early on, it was less than that, 70 cents, 70 cents, 70 cents. I've got so many of these cards. I really like this card. 24, 31, and I just got another 45. You know, there's 70 of them at 70 cents, and these are mostly all near mint. There's some LPs in here, but not a whole lot. So I bought these for about 70 cents. I thought they were underpriced for the utility that they give. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. And really what I see this card being used for is in like token generation decks, zombie tribal, things like that. Just any black-white deck that produces a lot of creatures in creature tokens. I just really like this card, and that's one of my specs. One of these days, I think the average will probably be around $3 or so. I mean, that's what I've got them listed for. I think that's a fair price for the value you get comparative to other cards in the Magic, in the Magic backlog. So in this box, this is full of what I would consider probably bad specs. These are specs that I am most likely going to lose money on and will most likely never be worth that much. And real quick, so for dividers, you can get BCW foam dividers, or just get foam panels, the sound deadening panels, and cut them. These are 2-inch height, and when you put these in a normal, Super Monster box or any of the BCW storage boxes, this fits really nicely in the row, and you can cut it to length, to have it fill the space in your boxes. The real actual dividers you get are kind of expensive for what they are. These things come in big old like vacuum sealed packs, and you just cut it right down to size, and there you go. A little trick to save some money there. So first spec here is Errant Street Artist. I got these at, 21 cents a piece, and these aren't that much more. I don't know. I saw this talked about on Reddit, and I bought, probably 30, 40 each. What is that? Sorry. 41 a piece. It just seems kind of, for 1 mana, it's a legendary creature. This could be your commander with Flash and Haste for 1 mana. You're going to have to play mono blue, so I don't know if maybe one day something comes out and this is actually worth something. For now, it's not. So I've just got money tied up into that. A couple more things. Mentor's Guidance. Yeah, don't buy these. This was a bad spec. I would... I don't know. I saw it on Reddit, and I bought some. They're dirt cheap. I didn't spend a whole lot on these, so it's not a huge deal. I believe these are actually... Okay, Ujin's Insight. I'm not sure if these are worth anything. Honestly, I haven't looked at these in a long time. Scry X, where X is the highest converted mana cost among permanents you control, then draw 3 cards. So the idea behind this was Elminster was spoiled as a commander, and everybody thought, all right, the Scry spells are going to be, they're going to go to the moon. And I bought into it a little bit. I didn't spend a lot of money. These were cheap. Yeah, but they're probably not going anywhere. Some more Ujin's Insights. Okay, so I bought these for 26 cents a piece, roughly. Nascent Metamorph. This is just always a creature that I liked, that I decided to buy a bunch of one day. And its ability is interesting because when it attacks or blocks, target opponent reveals cards from the top of the library until they reveal a creature card. And Nascent Metamorph becomes a copy of that card until end of turn. Then they put all cards revealed this way on the bottom of the library in a random order. So its casting cost is low, and this could work a couple different ways. One, just to get things off the top of their deck, and maybe you get something good. But in addition, if they have been scrying or they have tutored for a card and they put it on the top of the library, you can play this, give it haste, and then it'll become a copy of that card. And you never know. Somebody might have tutored for an Eldrazi, Kozilek or Ulamog or something like that. That's kind of neat if you can become a copy of that for 2. I just like this card. And I think it only has the one printing, and that's Commander 2020 Commander decks. So I have, these were 38 cents a piece. 38 cents a piece. I'm not sure how many I have here. Probably too many. A bunch of copies that I'm going to be stuck with. These are 20 cents a piece, and I've had them for, almost 3 months now. Ornithopter of Paradise. Yeah, I don't know why I bought these. These are going to be, they were, 11 cents a piece. I was thinking that one day they might be worth 50 cents. Yeah, probably not going to happen. Bad spec. There's a billion of these things out there, basically. These cards... Elspeth's Son's Nemesis, I don't think this is a good Planeswalker really at all. Maybe it is, and maybe I just don't get it. But I thought the art was cool. And There's Beyond Death is, 2020, so it's a couple years old now. And I don't think there's probably a ton of these out there. I could be wrong. So I bought a couple of these. I think they were like $3 a pop. And I just think they're cool. So, future spec. Mystic Speculation, I found out about this card just looking for spells and stuff for a deck, and I thought, that seems pretty good. Being able to scry and then buy back for 2, I don't know, they just felt like a good deal. So I bought a bunch of these. I did spend a good bit. I spent $2 a pop on these basically. And they're all pretty much near mint. There might be an LP in there, but I think that's a good one. And again, I do not advocate you go out and spec on any cards. It is all risk and gambling. This one, Cryptic Trilobite. I don't remember why I bought these. I probably incredibly overpaid for them at 64 cents a pop. But it's a card that I like. So, I mean, if you like a card and you plan on keeping it for a long time and maybe you're going to build decks with it and stuff, there's no problem with buying some extra copies. But, you know, buying these at 64 cents and then hoping to sell them for $5 a pop in the future, yeah, your chances are probably less than 1%. But it's a cool card and I like it. And this was probably the worst. This was the worst spec of all. I read this thing and I thought, deals damage to combat. Deals combat damage to a player. You may cast your commander without paying its mana cost. For some reason, I read this and I thought, man, I got to get a bunch of those. So I bought 18 of them for like 90 cents a piece or something like that. Stupidest thing, because I've already pulled like a freaking ton of these things. This is like, I don't know, this has got to be like a 3-cent card. There's just enough supply out there. It's not worth it. So don't buy those. Nightveil Spectre. So the only reason I bought a bunch of these is because back in the day, when I first started playing, you know, the Gatecrash Return to Ravnica era, Nightveil Spectre was one of my absolute favorite cards, and I had a playset of them. Now, I've got a bunch of them here in all varying conditions. I believe these are all moderately played. They're not very good. These are buy-a-box promos, and these are the only ones that have an alternate art. I like this card, and that's why I bought a bunch of them. I don't ever expect this card to be, you know, $10 or $20. If it did turn out to happen, I think that would be kind of neat, but I own these because I like the card. And I think it has a great ability, and this is a different art than the regular ones. So, plus they're foil. So I'm going to keep these probably forever. I will probably end my career with these cards in here. And I don't know if they're ever going to be reprinted. I'm actually surprised. I take that back. Nightveil Spectre was reprinted in a Guilds of Ravnica guild kit, I do believe. But, you know, older is always better in my opinion, so that's why I've got some of these. I don't know how many is in here, and I don't know how much I paid. I think I paid less than $1 for every single one of these in here. Just a neat card. I love it. That's why I bought it. So, as you can see, I've got bad specs in here. This is all stuff that's probably never going to be worth anything. So, again, don't spec on cards. You're just going to be left with a bunch of... I don't want to say garbage, but you're going to be left with a bunch of chaff. But I did just want to show you kind of the stuff that I've YOLO'd money into with the hopes of making a couple bucks in the future. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to have also another drawing. So, the original winner of the first giveaway, it's 6 War of the Spark booster packs and 3 Midnight Hunts, never claimed their prize. So these are up for grabs again. All you need to do is, if you're not subscribed, I'd very much appreciate it if you subscribed. Leave a comment. You cannot be eligible if you don't leave a comment, because I'm going to use a comment picker. So leave a comment, whether you liked the video, whether you didn't, maybe some specs that you had. I'm very curious to see what people are speccing on out there. And again, for the 50th time, I do not recommend you spec on cards. It's dangerous, and you're probably going to lose money. But, yeah, subscribe if you aren't already, like the video, comment, and maybe these will be yours. And bonus points if you'd like me to open them on camera. The last guy got pretty good hits, and I'd like to do that for you as well. So, till next time, catch you guys later.